Okay, good evening, everyone. So, welcome to the class today. And today's topic is Marshall McLuhan's views on media and communication. So, as far as I remember, when we were talking about theories and models, I asked you, what is your favorite theory and what is your favorite model? And one of you said it was Marshall McLuhan, if I'm not wrong. Can you tell me who was that person who told me that Marshall McLuhan is actually, uh, one person जिसकी theories हमें याद रही हैं और याद रहेंगी? Is there anyone in the class? As far as I remember vaguely, it can be someone, right? Asa, no worries. I can name myself also because these two, three peoples in mass communication topics plays a very, very important role. Like not only from the UGC perspective, कि उनसे related the question definitely comes, but also in mass communication field and communication field, these philosophers, these researchers played a very important role because they laid the basics, they laid the, they gave you a base on which nowadays researchers are researching and giving them a new vision and giving them entirely new personality. Right. And Marshall McLuhan is one of them. So before proceeding, I want to know how many of you know that from which country that Marshall McLuhan belonged to. Very I think that this question might come. अभी तक तो नहीं आया, might come. I just wanted to know how many of you have ever, of course, everybody have studied Marshall McLuhan. Can you tell me without searching on Google or without using AI from which country Marshall McLuhan belongs to? Yes, Dia is absolutely right. It's Canada. He was a Canadian researcher. Very good. See, this handsome man gave us a lot of theories that are related to mass communication. So yes, Marshall McLuhan was a Canadian philosopher and media theorist. He was best known for his groundwork on effects of media on human perception in society. Right? He related the media, the concept of media with the effect of the media on society and human beings. Like how human beings perceive all the message that is given by the media, different aspects. Correct. He's considered as one of the most influential thinkers in mass communication studies. So definitely he is very, very influential because all of his theories that we are going to, have a detailed discussion today, are still relevant, are still part and parcel of many researchers. Like if you all aap mein se koi bhi, if you some anyone is pursuing PhD also, if anybody wants to pursue PhD also, you have to at one point of your research you have to study one of his book, right? So the very very prominent thing जिससे related question UGC में for sure आता ही आता है is the first the book. The medium is the message. Very, very important thing. Just remember this keyword. Medium is the message given by Marshall McLuhan. He was a Canadian philosopher. Very simple thing. I don't think कि इस perspective में किसी भी researcher ने ये सोचा होगा कि beyond the message, it is also important that which medium you are using, to reach what kind of audience. So, for example, if we see that the Prime Minister of a country have not done any kind of podcast. He recently appeared on a podcast. If anybody can name which podcast was that, and he briefed about his working and his early life as a child and as a politician. He recently came on this podcast. Can you just go in little deeper down there and you just feel that why he wanted to come to a podcast, why he didn't do any TV interview, why he didn't do any newspaper interview, and why only podcast? Why he chose that particular platform? Because the medium is the message, right? Medium plays a very, very important role. He knows that uh, he had captured a certain amount of people who are influenced by him, but still there are young voters that need to be captured for the upcoming election. So what he chose Nikhil Kamath podcast. Absolutely right, Prachya. He appeared on Nikhil Kamath podcast and he thought that um, podcast could have been a better medium to reach the type of audience that he wants to. It's a very new example, but you can relate, right? The medium was important. Then and the medium is also a message that which kind of audience he wanted to reach to. So yes, the form of media influences human perception behavior more than content, right? The people, the target audience of newspaper is very different. The target audience of podcast is very different. Even radio, TV, even folk dances. If you understand, then you know that all the different. Lex Fridman, what's that, Ankit? Hmm. So that's why medium is very important. So you can see that TV is so important as a visual medium, and nowadays you can see radio also jumping into social media. पहले हमें नहीं मालूम था कि आरजे गिनी का face क्या है, but now we know who is आरजे गिनी, how she looks, who is आरजे रौनक, how she looks, right? So we know that. So they have also changed. Radio is also trying to evolve because somehow we can say that radio is depleting and somehow things are changing. So that's why they are also evolving as a medium. Similarly, coming back to the point, the medium is the message. How you want your audience to perceive your message, and that's why choosing a medium is very, very important. Correct. The next one is the global village. Okay, with an American podcaster. Okay, I didn't know that. Thank you for the information. I only knew about Nikhil Kamath because that's the podcast I related to. The medium is the message. Maybe it was not meant for me and for everybody else also. Very good. Thank you for the information, Ankit. So the next one is global village. So we can see that how electronic media comprises of time and space connection, right? एक ही time पे you can see for example, there is a world premiere happening of a very big film. Correct. So I am watching here, you're watching in Canada, somebody's watching in New York, somebody's watching in England. So we as an audience, like of course the time zone will be different, but they are connected. They are connected how? With media, with the help of electronic media, with the help of internet. And that's how he gave the concept of a global village, because this is a kind of village is a place जहाँ पे सब everybody stays connected, and the world is the global village with the help of media, right? That's how he gave the concept of global village. Then we have hot and cool media. So what is hot and cool media? Hot media is a, I've written some examples over here for you. So hot media is basically high definition media which doesn't require audiences engagement a lot. For example, radio and cinema. Radio baj raha hai, you are driving in a car, radio is playing, right? You don't need to get much involved in that. Rather, cool media is like somebody that can calm you down, and you need a lot of time and interference to process information. For example, this particular class, right? TV, television, telephone also, right? So I am saying something, so you are perceiving that message, right? You have to put in a lot of brain to understand what am I saying. So your concentration is needed a lot. That's why it is a cool media, and hot media is something that doesn't require much of audience's interference. Then one of the very important book that he has book, by the way, the medium is the message is also a book which came out of his another book, another publication. Media is an extension of man. So we can say that extension of human senses, transforming the way people experience the world, right? Somebody who perceives that how do West weird things, how do South Korean people perceive a particular attire, right? So what are we doing? We are trying to understand the culture of that particular country. So we are going to an extent where we are trying to find the transformation, correct? So that's why media is an extension of medium. So telephone can be another example because it extends the voice of human through eyes. So if for example, a story podcast also, you can say, if there is a storyteller who is coming on a podcast, for example, Nilesh Misra, he's saying a story on the podcast, and you are imagining all the other things. Correct. So the medium podcast is trying to create an imaginative world in your brain with the help of media. So that is what media is an extension of man. I hope it's clear. There are still some critique of Marshall McLuhan theories, although many of the theories were highly appreciated all across the world. But there are still some critique to the Marshall McLuhan theory. For example, technological determinism. Over emphasis on technology as a sole driver of social change. So when he said technology technology that involves TV, radio transmission, or whatever kind of technology. So he kept a lot of emphasis on technological involvement in media. And that's why he neglected a lot of social, political, cultural, and economic factors that may affect the message that has been transformed. Right? We being a mass communication student, we have always seen that it is not possible that the person who can understand folk media can understand the messages of newspaper, or the person who is able to understand newspaper messages can understand the folk media as well, right? These are what social, cultural, economic factor that affects the understanding of the message. Then we have lack of empirical evidences. Empirical evidences means practical implication of the theories that he did. So his ideas were largely speculative, right? He envisioned a world where a lot of things, where his lot of theories were applicable, but it doesn't have an empirical backing, like practical working real life world scenarios में उसका बहुत ज़्यादा prominently implication नहीं देखा गया. Then oversimplification of media effects, that is generalize the impact of media without accounting for diversity of audience reception. Just like we said, audience are very much different all across mediums, all across, even if we speak about our country also, our culture, our language, our understanding of things, our understanding of festival are completely different. So a message cannot be same for each and every one. I gave you this example before also. If there is a very good brand, for example Coke, so Coke का जो brand ambassador North India में है, जरूरी नहीं कि वही brand ambassador South India में भी चलेगा. Correct? People might not connect to Salman Khan जितना कि वो अल्लू अर्जुन से करेंगे. So that's why even the brand ambassadors are different. Then the third is ignoring power and ideology. Very, very important, because you know that some part of media, some decisions of media are highly, highly controlled by media ownership and the powerful people, and they also act as a gatekeepers while giving out information, giving out news. So he ignored all that. He thought that it's an ideal setup of media that is set, and that's how his all his ideologies are very, very implicable at all the stages, but it's not possible. So these are some of the critique of Marshall McLuhan theory. So the keyword that you should keep in mind related to Marshall McLuhan is Marshall McLuhan. He was a Canadian philosopher. Okay, three important things. The medium is the message, global village, hot and cool. ये तीन चीजें हैं, ये keywords है जो that you should keep in mind, right? Medium is the message is very, very important, because I've seen a lot of questions coming who gave the concept of the medium is the message, correct? Okay, moving forward to Marxist approach. So this person Karl Marx is a very important person. I perceive that he's a very important person while giving concepts about capitalism, communism, socialism. A lot of ideologies have come out of this person's thinking that you can see over here on the screen. So he has also given a lot of concepts, and one of the concept is about media and communication that played a very, very important role in history, and now also as I told you for Marshall McLuhan as well, बहुत सारे statement ऐसे होते हैं, बहुत सारे in your research also you will see there are a lot of theories that you can take out from all his working. So you have to go deeper down into Karl Marx theories and all. But as of now, the theory that is important, according to your examination perspective, is his approach towards media and communication. So it's rooted in the theories of Karl Marx, which focus on relationship between economics, power, and ideology. Very simple thing. He just said that media is controlled by the people who have money. Correct? Who have money, who have power, who have dominance, who are a great influencer. So media is basically controlled by them, and you don't even notice this. Common people don't notice this, and all the media, if stayed under the control of these type of people, it will go. The message or the society will form in such a manner as per these people. Okay, so it views media as a tool used by ruling class, important keyword, to maintain dominance and control over the working class by shaping public opinion and reinforcing capitalist ideologies. So we have also discussed this in the earlier classes. For example, there's a very rich person in India. Sometimes you are a student, of PR also. You must have studied PR. So sometimes what happened, there is a negative publicity associated with your group. So what these people try to do, these people try to bring in some different news and change it into positive तरीके से उसको change करते हैं and different perspective दिखाते हैं. Just give me a minute. So sorry. Okay, so it views media as a tool that is used by ruling class to maintain dominance and control over the working class by shaping Oh, okay, sorry. I was giving you an example. So I was giving you an example that for example, if there is a person who is very, very influential in the country, and a negative publicity is getting associated with him. So what their PR people, their publicists, lobbyist people, what they will do, they will try to create certain kind of assumption in the market. They will try to create such kind of information in the market that will change your image, right? Their maintenance of image is very important. And that's why they control a lot of ideologies, a lot of things in a capitalist structure. This is what Karl Marx said, that the media is actually controlled by the ruling class to maintain their dominance, right? To actually have an upper hand over all the communication that is happening through media. Now, these are some of the core concepts given by Marxist media theory. So there are a lot of people, a lot of researchers, which are, followers, non-followers, and also critique. तो उन्होंने इसके एक्सटेंशन निकाले, जो भी इन्होंने थ्योरी दी थी, इसके बहुत सारे एक्सटेंशन निकाले. So some of the core concepts that you need to understand are written here. So the first one is base and superstructure. So media as a part of ideological superstructure shaped by economic base. So it means that superstructure का मतलब होता है people who are controlled by a certain power, right? There are some opinion leaders, there are some influencers who are controlling their views, who are controlling their opinions. So media serve as the interest of the ruling class. So, and that we have seen in a lot of cases, a lot of Twitter threads, and a lot of articles that media is somehow controlled by the ruling parties. One channel belongs to one party, second channel belongs to another party, and they always create such kind of narratives that can influence the brain of the public who are watching it, right? And that is what Karl Marx said it बहुत पहले से. इम्प्लीमेंटेशन हो रहा है तब से ही, बट अगर आप बहुत ध्यान से देखोगे तो यू विल गेट टू नोटिस अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. Then we have political economy of media given by Herbert Sitchler. It means that media ownership leads to concentration of power, reducing diversities of voices. That means अगर आज तक I'm just giving an example कि for example channel X has given कि this particular politician will win the election, and why he's ideal to become a CM, why he has done this, that. They are trying to show all the positive image of that particular person. So why this is happening? Why the newspaper associated to that media house is showing positive kind of articles in their newspaper, and why not anything negative is showing out? Because they are somehow controlled by political parties, by people who are in power, who are giving money. So that's why political economy of media. Then we have false consciousness. Media create a false sense of reality, preventing working class solidarity. So if you have seen Tamasha, right? There's a movie of Ranbir Kapoor and Deepika Padukone, Tamasha. We saw that a person who considers himself as a middle class, as a mediocre person who goes to office, works a lot, earn a little, then eventually get married, have family, and die. This is what उसन्होंने दिखाया. This is an ideal lifespan of a mediocre. And this is set by media only. जरूर थोड़ी एक mediocre है तो वो job ही करे, बहुत पैसे कमाए और बहुत मेहनत करे. This is the conception that media has framed in our mind. But I want to relate to this movie, because at the end of the movie they try to break this image that not only केवल पैसे अपना मतलब एक जो लाइफ सोसाइटी ने आपके लिए सेट करी है, एक स्टीरियोटाइप जो सोसाइटी ने आपके लिए सेट करा है, जरूरी नहीं कि वो उसके हिसाब से जी जाए. सो दैट्स व्हाई मीडिया हैज क्रिएटेड अ फॉल्स रियलिटी कि बाहर पढ़े जाओगे तो ऑफ कोर्स जॉब अच्छी लगेगी. डजंट मैटर, यू कैन आल्सो अर्न एट होम. फॉर एग्जांपल आर very beloved content creators, right? And then we have ideological state apparatus, ISA. It's given by Louis Althusser. I might be pronouncing it wrong. So it states that media is a tool to reinforce capitalist ideologies and create consent. Same thing. चारों चीजों में कुल मिला के बात सेम ही कही गई है कि जो capitalist ideologist है, media is being controlled by there. All the information that is flowing to the general public are going from them, going through them, or being paid by them, right? This is what the core concept of Marxist media theory. Otherwise, इन्होंने बहुत सारी और भी theories दी हैं. You can, if you have interest, you can go and read this for sure. It's very interesting. Then another topic of today's class is information and knowledge societies. Okay, now there are two types of societies divided. First one is information society. It's a society where information production and dissemination are central to economic, political, cultural life. So एक society है जहाँ से केवल information आ रही है, information आ रही है, like internet, social media platforms और big data people. कि 100 में से 50 लोग आर वेरी मच एडिक्टेड टू इंस्टाग्राम. ठीक है, इंफॉर्मेशन आ गई. देन देयर इज अ सोसाइटी कॉल्ड नॉलेज सोसाइटी which goes beyond the information society and which try to focus on the application of information to general knowledge. So for example, research network. So there is one information that is given कि 100 में से 50 लोग are addicted to Instagram, but there are also some researchers, there are also some organizations who are working on this perspective to back this statement, right? To back the statement कि उन्होंने research करी है. That's why this information is going on, and that's why media is also considered as a knowledge dissemination tool. You must have heard that all in IAS, IPS exam it said that आपको रोज का newspaper if you are friends with those people who are preparing for that, so every day morning they eat the newspaper, every information, every news, every detail. Pehle to it was very very relevant. Even our parents used to say to us, if you want to stay ahead, if you want to improve your GK, you should read newspaper completely, you should read newspaper daily, right? So that's in that scenario, media is also considered as a knowledge dissemination tool. Then shift from industrial economics to information driven economies. Not only producing things is important, but giving information. For example, एक टायर बना है और केवल उन्होंने एक इंडस्ट्री है, टायर इंडस्ट्री, उन्होंने एक टायर बना के आपको दे दिया. बट नाउ the people are so much aware, they want to know ki what all aspects have been controlled, what all factors make it unique from the rest of the competitors. So that's why it has a greater impact on media and communication of both the society, information and knowledge society. Now if we talk about critiques that are the challenges of these particular societies, first one is the digital divide. So it is not always important that IT or information or internet or any kind of thing that requires IT is accessible to everyone. So that is called digital divide because we have unequal access to information and technology. Then, of course, privacy concern. We have seen a lot of surveillance by corporation and governments. We have seen a lot of things happening these days. जितना ही आपका IT का usage, आपका technology का usage बढ़ता जा रहा है, उतने ही ज़्यादा आपके scams बढ़ते जा रहे हैं. उतने ही ज़्यादा नए तरीके के scams we are getting to know each and every day in the newspaper or in society. A lot of different types of phishings are going on. And that's why this is also an important concern when we talk about information and knowledge society in mass communication. तो हर चीज के pros होते हैं, हर चीज के cons होते हैं, but media is definitely should be considered as a knowledge dissemination tool, but with some filters. You should be aware of what you are reading. You should fact check the basic. You should become a digitally literate citizen, which is a very very important skill in 21st century. Even small kids are getting to know this particular skill. So you should also be aware and make your students also aware whenever you are going to become a teacher. Okay, so this is it. I hope I am clear with the topic that we studied today. That is, we studied about two prominent researchers, Marshall McLuhan and Karl Marx. Okay, both of their perspective towards media and communication. So we are going to start with the question and answers. I want everybody to be very, very active on their chat box so that you can answer, and I will also get to see if you have understood everything or not. So the first question is, which of the following best represent Marshall McLuhan's concept of the media is the message? Content determines the impact of media. The form of media influences how the message is perceived. The audience control the message meaning. Technology is irrelevant in shaping communication. Come on, quickly in the chat box. Very easy. All these questions have come in the PYQs. Yes, absolutely right. Everyone. Very nice. Amazing. Okay. Going to the next question. Which Marxist thinker introduced the concept of ideological state apparatus? Karl Marx, Antonio Gramsci, Louis Althusser, Herbert Schutzler. I'm so sorry for my pronunciation might be incorrect. Okay, the answer is C. Yes. Yes, everybody. Very good. The answer is C. Okay, the next question is, what is the key critique of McLuhan's global village concept? It overlooks the unifying power of media. It romanticizes technology while ignoring the digital divide. It undervalues the importance of content. It's solely focused on print media. Global village. He states in Global Village that a media is trying to, sorry, why will I say? You answer. आराम से पढ़ना, कोई जल्दीबाजी नहीं है. Okay, I have answers from Diya and Vartika. Yes, Selva, Sarojini, very good. Everybody. The answer is B. Very good. Then we have next question. What is the characteristics of a knowledge society? Emphasis on physical labor over intellectual work, use of traditional mass media only, application of information to generate knowledge, restricted access to information. Easy peasy question. Yes, very good. The answer is C. Application of information to generate knowledge. Okay, last question. According to Marxist theory, what is the primary function of media in capitalist society? To provide unbiased information, to reflect working class interests, to reinforce dominant ideologies, to promote cultural diversity. Okay, CACA आ रहा है. आराम से पढ़ो क्वेश्चन को. I told you to focus on some keywords. वही keywords इसमें they are playing a very, very important role here. Yes, the correct answer is C. To reinforce dominant ideologies. Why? To provide unbiased information तो definitely नहीं हो सकता, क्योंकि if working class or capitalist society is trying to control the media, then of course they will control some kind of information. They will gatekeep that particular news. So unbiased तो हो नहीं सकता. To reflect working class interest, no, because it is a capitalist society setup. And then promote cultural diversity to know, because they are only working for dominant ideologies, that is the people who are in power. Yes. Yes. Okay, so this is it. This is the I mean end of this particular chapter. Any question, anything that you didn't understood, any concept, just let me know. Just the important keywords you should keep in mind. See, in UGC NET exam, we always say as a teacher that this is also important, this is also important. We say because sometimes NET become very, very unpredictable, right? Very, very unpredictable, that what might come and what might not come. बहुत सारे ऐसे questions होते हैं वो शायद we as a teachers we definitely try to cover each and every aspect. Now you as a person who is studying for this particular exam, it's your duty to ensure कि वो जो छोटे छोटे keywords हैं, छोटे छोटे concepts हैं, you should also keep that in mind. Keep them keeping green उस पे marks, whatever highlighter we say, उस पे green आप important mark कर दो. And whatever you think that you are not able to understand, you can ask me, you can ask sir, or the team also, they will let you know. But it's very important to cover each and every aspect of this particular course. We also try to, keep you up with all the things. But sometimes it happens कि कोई ऐसी information होती है जो कहीं से भी उठ के आ जाती है. That's why I'm saying UGC NET is very very unpredictable. But once you get through the PYQs, you will get to know the structure. You will get to know what kind of questions might come. You will get to know what type of what are their favorites. For example, I can tell you that Marshall McLuhan is for sure their favorite. Whoever is setting the paper of mass communication, Marshall McLuhan is one of their favorite person. And I am not saying essay, I'm just saying ki important person hai wo definitely. But yes, he's also very very important person for UGC NET, because they definitely ask one question from it. I'm trying to keep you more motivated, and I'm trying कि आप उस पे emphasis दो इस particular concept पे, समझ के रखो, ताकि आपको उस समय आंसर देते टाइम मेरी ये बात याद आ जाए, and then you can answer correctly. That's why I'm trying to create an different type of teaching that we started. Okay, everyone, I think there is no more doubt, so we can end the class. Or is there anything you want to ask? Just say yes or no.